Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through!
Well met, fellow travellers of imaginary tales, and welcome to Fumble Through!
Through.
A podcast that gets angry, turns green, but doesn't say anything for fear of upsetting people. Join us on our weekly adventures as we improvise ways to make our below-average dice rolls seem more impressive. And if you've enjoyed our last 12 episodes...
Hi, my name's Lindsay. Please subscribe to our socials. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you are not a native internet user like me, then we also have a newsletter you can sign up for and a blog that appears on our website, www.fumblethrough.com.
The best website that you can have.
Lindsay's been taking diction lessons and speaking lessons from TJ.
Sitting in the Fumble Factory this week is Luke.
Yes, I am here. Yes, and tonight my safety word will be Europe.
Europe. Brett.
I'd kill for a Nobel Peace Prize.
In
I think the joke is the kill part. And Lindsay.
You know, the worst wizard to be is actually an installation wizard.
I don't know what's an installation wizard.
It's on your
the little
computer.
paperclip.
we are
Can
hemorrhaging
everybody,
listeners
can
right
everybody
this
just
second.
turn around and look at all the jokes flying behind your heads right now? Nothing has landed at this table. Europe.
Europoo. To get us going, we like to have a bit of a chat about various topics, role-playing and non-role-playing related. If you have something you think is discussion-worthy, hit us up on our socials and feel free to post your own answers on the discussion boards. We love that. This week is more of a challenge rather than a question, inspired by a listener named Boots. You're going to roll a random character, develop a concept, and tell us a bit of background. I would like each of you to roll a D12.
I've spent all day getting in character. This is really going to ruin my process.
That's an 8 for me.
You're a halfling. What did you get, Luke?
I got a 5.
You are a dwarf. Brett, what are you?
Number 11.
You're a catfolk. Everyone roll another D12 for me. By the way, I rolled a dwarf as well.
7.
You are a barbarian. Luke?
Halfling barbarian, nice. 4.
You are a sorcerer.
Number 5.
And you are an alchemist. I am a dwarf barbarian. And for the last one, can you roll a D10?
10.
You are chaotic good.
3.
You are lawful evil.
Ooh.
11.
What was your modifier on that one?
6.
You are chaotic neutral. Now, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. We're going to cut away. We're going to cut back in. And we're going to discuss a very quick character concept that you've developed in 2 minutes. Time starts now.
Yeah, I'm fucked already. Dwarf sorcerer, that is not a concept I've ever thought I could actually manage.
And your 2 minutes is up. So we are going to start. Who would like to actually give us their character first? Who'd like to go first?
Okay.
I was going to say because I just got pagan love of gold. That's it.
Pagan love of gold.
I haven't got the creative capacity to perform under pressure like that.
That's
2 minutes.
fantastic. So
He's saying Europe.
I can give you exactly what you gave me at the beginning.
Okay, go.
which is Dwarf, sorcerer, lawful evil, pagan, love of gold, and that is all I got.
Pagan lover of gold.
Lover of gold, yeah. This is not the creative process that I would go through to create a character, so I've stumped.
Yeah, we already
straight
know
off
you got to
2
find a
minutes.
mini first.
Yeah, that's right.
And a voice.
There's a
No, I
dwarven
tried to do a little web search in those 2 minutes and I came up with fuck all.
I think Lindsay's about to tell us the pain that he started with.
So, I created a halfling barbarian who was chaotic good. Barlin Shinsplitter
Mhm.
was abandoned at birth in the northern wilds, raised by wild mammoths.
Excellent.
Him and his pet mammoth Stampy, or I guess his brother as he calls him, travel the wilderness together, bringing foes down to his size as he splits their shins with his two-headed battle axe.
Nice. I like that.
The pain is he was abandoned at birth.
Brett, what have you got for us?
So my catfolk alchemist, who is chaotic neutral, tentatively called Fanny McGee, I kind of went through this process of going, all right, what would be cool as a catfolk that use mutagen to increase dex and maybe does bombs? So, bombs are really kind of obvious. Maybe she crafts mundane items and uses that. Nah, that's a bit crap. And then I kind of thought, oh, hang on a second. What if she's a poisoner and uses poison as her main thing? Oh, what about a spy poisoner? She's a master of disguise. She's high intelligence, high charisma, gets into places, makes herself well known, gathers information. And I just wrote a phrase down which often helps me in a backstory: the daughter of the chief of whispers in the woods.
Ooh, I like that.
So then I'd go and find somewhere and wood-like and find a story that kind of relates her in. But I think she's kind of upper society, and this is her way of paying back her debt to wherever she's from.
That's excellent. That is excellent. I created a dwarf barbarian who is chaotic good called Clingus Clubfoot. He has one hand, which has been replaced with a metal stub that he likes to beat people with. He uses a net, which he wraps the end of the rope around that one
So
spot.
that's the name of my
control
character now.
people.
Annette is the name of my
Annette.
character now.
Oh, no, not this. So he used that net to catch people, and he was a fisherman by trade before he lost his boat at sea and was shipwrecked on an island, and he was captured by drow.
Right. How did he swim?
How did he lose the boat? Was it Big Bad
He's only
Barry?
got one arm. How do you do a boat
And
with
one
arm?
leg because he's got a club foot.
Yeah, let's ask my character to flesh out how did he lose the boat?
I'm just
there was a
deflecting-
kraken at the sea.
Just deflecting from my ineptitude to be able to do it. So there we go.
So I hope this gives us a little bit of an insight about, or Boots, and a little bit of an insight about how
Hey,
we.
Boots, thanks for the question.
Yeah, it isn't an easy process, and as we've seen here, we all do it very differently. I don't know about you, Lindsay. What did you start with first when you started to create your character, other than the things we rolled up?
Literally had to think of a name for a halfling barbarian because you can't reach very high, and that's where the shin splitter came from.
Oh, that's good.
And that's then I kind of went, why is he a barbarian instead of a halfling? Because I don't know, halflings barbarian is not a common thing, right?
I don't know. Oh, well, I'm assuming everything's a
I
common
don't know.
thing.
Even
Maybe
halflings have the rage.
So look, same question for you. I guess this is
Well,
very.
how did I do? I didn't.
Well,
I don't
this
think I
is
can answer
very
that question.
different.
already.
So, in your usual way of creating your characters, we've talked about the idea of you going in and buying minis before and
Yep.
having that idea. Is this so different that you couldn't do it in this way?
Yeah, essentially within 2 minutes, absolutely. Maybe outside of 2 minutes, I probably could have come up with something, but yeah, that's not how I would go about normally creating a character. So I struggled.
And you, Brett?
I wouldn't normally do this either. Like being forced into a race and a class and a alignment is a bit squishy for me. They're fun to play with, and you kind of go, all right, maybe if we were sitting down at a game to play an hour game and you're given a character, it's kind of this, and you'd go, all right, well, you've got this guy. Actually make it something. So it's fun at the table.
Just
But-
to interject, Brett, we played a whole campaign where you made us roll for characters and classes.
Yeah, suck that.
Yeah, he didn't have to do it.
I
We
didn't do
had
it.
to do it. He didn't have to do it.
I made the offer and everyone wanted to do it because it was a bit of fun.
We play other games.
Yeah, I like this process, but like Luke, inspiration comes to me on the toilet, not at a table.
That explains a lot about some of your ideas.
Yep.
Oh,
I
so-
need time. Like this is
Yeah.
not enough time to
See,
actually do the work.
I guess unlike you guys, I am used to dying in games. I throw my characters into stupid things and I do very dumb things, so I die a lot. But I enjoy the idea of having this kind of stuff thrown at me. I like the idea of throwing something together really quick and then having to create this Clingus Clubfoot on the fly. Like even as I saw you with a female character, I was like, oh, Clingus Clubfoot could be a female dwarf barbarian. Now that's something unique that I've never ever tried. And it's something that you go, or
So are you trying to find something you've not done before or seen before as well? Or
I started with the idea of a person with a stump on one of their hands with just a metal bit over the top of it. That's exactly in my mind. I went dwarf, barbarian, stump. How would that work in
Why didn't you name a Klingus club hand then?
because he wasn't born with a hand. He lost his hand in the when the boat went down.
So it's not a family name.
he lost his hand?
Club hand is not a. It's yeah. Oh, you bought another one with two hands. Get rid of it.
He lost his hand in a bad shoe accident.
Yeah, yeah. And he was a boatman, so the clubfoot will come. That maybe now that you've said that, I want him to have one wooden leg as well. I think that's really cool. He's an ex-captain
And
of
the
a
peg is a
fisher boat.
club.
Well, we are heading to the docks, aren't we? I know we're heading
Warehouse.
Warehouse. Maybe we'll find, Klingus Clubfoot and somewhere in the future with the bar in the ship's captain district,
Well, it's
Oh.
true. Well, thank you, Boots, for giving us an activity that I think we explored to the best of our ability. Some of us, except for Luke.
Yeah, thanks, Boots.
That brings us back to our game, where we last left our intrepid heroes. They had just patrolled through the gardens of opulent splendor, wherein they met a young lady who had a talent with wands. Having sorted that situation, we now find them traveling into the warehouse district as we continue to play AD&D's Night Watch of the Living City! We zone into 4 characters just walking from one district to the next.
So, Miles,
Yes.
just a little question.
Okay.
Chasing that girl
What time?
just recently, you know the one we saved from the carriage and then she ran away and you
Yes.
chased after her. Sometimes chasing a girl might lead us away from a better opportunity.
I was chasing a girl as a creature that had strangled you was chasing her.
Ah, understood.
Speaking of which, how you both feeling?
I'm good.
But I was unconscious from that, Joker.
Yeah, Flopsy, I had a bit of a moment with Aori. You know, in Jalmari, I wasn't allowed in the temples to train, right?
Yes.
So when I was denied, I turned to him, and he led me to my instructor. And I've over that time continued to pray. And I just in that moment, mate, when you were dangling there, I just tapped into this kind of connection with him, and I don't know, there were these fireworks went off, and
Oh, you healed me.
yes,
From a distance. My father often talked about that.
really, because I've no idea how I did it.
I think it's called summoning the power of your god in channeling.
Channeling.
Daddy always said that there was priests who could do that they could heal people all in the same room in the hospital, that they would just come in the day and a glow or a burst would come out and people would feel much, much better.
Well, I just didn't really anticipate being able to do this sort of thing at all. I mean,
Is that
I
the kind of
just
thing
want to.
you can do at will now? or-
I've no idea. I haven't had the chance to really put myself under that kind of pressure. I mean, I've just been trying to train and get my physical perfection there for that level of enlightenment that everyone's talked about with all the training and all that sort of stuff. Nobody ever told me any of this sort of stuff.
What are your thoughts about being a night watch? I'm quite liking this job. It's probably one of the most exciting nights I've had for a long time.
Exciting isn't what I'd say. I think it's quite stressful.
Right, there's a lot going on. I thought we would walk around a little bit, meet some sailors, say hello, maybe break up a bar fight, head on back, have a sleep in the barracks.
We did get kind of like told this was the worst
Yeah, but they said
beat to be going on.
they
eh?
said it would be brigands and thieves, not
That's
3
right.
magical
Ship's captains
creatures in
and
one
stuff,
row.
eh, in the pubs.
This is the Veil, my friend. So what happens?
Piara, what is that building there? Is this the warehouses coming up? Are we in the...
This is the warehouse district. The warehouse district could not be more different from the gardens of opulent splendor. The beautifully manicured gardens have been replaced with more functional buildings laden with chimneys and pipes. A large cart with a steel box and smaller chimneys instead of a horse lies dormant on 2 channels with steel rails that run down the center of the street. This is definitely a place of industry, but not at the moment. The buildings are quiet and dark, except for one. A strange soaring sound can be heard from inside a lit-up building.
Is there supposed to be work going on around here?
Yeah, isn't there like a curfew, no work, no power tools after 7 a.m. or something like that?
You mean no steam tools?
Well, we could go and say hello. We've made our acquaintances in every other district.
Okay,
Shall we go knock on this warehouse, see what business is going on?
Sure.
The warehouse is a 2-story construct with a stone ground floor and a wooden upstairs. There are 2 large doors at the front on the ground floor and a single window that you can see right next to those 2 large doors, which is where the light's shining through.
How high is the window?
Normal human height.
Right. Okay. So I can't see through.
Got to really applaud the industry of people working late into the night. These people must be very, very prudent and officious workers. Can somebody knock on the door?
this is the watch.
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, we just make sure everything's okay.
The door opens and you see a large man who is about 6'1" tall. He's a fairly muscular guy. Looks like for a daily work, he probably picks up something heavy and puts it down again and then picks it back up and puts it back down again. With a calm and melodic voice, he says, "What do you want?"
My name is Lieutenant Captain Miles, sir. At your service.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you. What, are you here for some ice?
Do you sell eyes?
Ice, you know, for the fish market. That's our job. You fellas, you ain't from around here, are you?
No, first day on the job, sir. We're just making sure everything's okay because we saw you're the only person still working. You want to make sure everything's
Really
all
applaud
right.
your industry staying up late at night.
This is the best time to work. We need to be up real early so we can get that ice out to people. Now, Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ian McTaggart. And he puts his hand out to shake each one of you. How may I make your acquaintance tonight? Who might I say are you?
I am Flopsy. You can call me Flopsy. Officer Flopsy, I think. How does this work? I don't. Flopsy.
Well, how about we just call you Flopsy then?
Everyone else does.
What about you, short stuff?
No, short stuff. Steady on
Oh.
there, Droid.
Sorry, I did not mean to make offense. That was not my intention. I apologize if I did offend you.
My name's Reginald. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Reginald. And you, sir?
I already said I was Lieutenant Captain Miles.
That you did. I forgot about that. Lieutenant Miles. And you, little miss? My name is Piero Daffy.
With
You know
himself.
I hate when I have to do Why don't you fellas come on in and I'll show you around the iceworks.
Mr. McTaggart, you make ice here.
This is the McTaggart Brothers Iceworks. My brother's inside if you want to meet him.
I do
Ross.
have a request. Recently, I encountered a creature that rather strangled me around the neck. A bit of ice might be quite soothing. Do you think I might?
Well, come on
Partake.
in. I'll give you a shaving. He opens the warehouse. Inside, you see the large 2-story building. You see a ramp that comes down from the ground floor into the basement level. And from there, you see a large block of ice. You see 2 men with a large saw just sawing the very top of the ice chunk off. Beyond that, there's a darker room that seems like where the ice has come from. Ian says to you, come on in. Let's see if we can't get you something to soothe that. Hey, Ross, we got company. At that point, you see a guy that looks very much like Ian. Same 6-foot build, very rough and tumble. Looks like he picks things up and puts them down again. This guy's a little more of a scholar because A, he's reading a ledger, and B, he's wearing glasses.
My kind of guy.
Reg's just going to be scanning the room and just see if there's anything off key or anything of interest or...
You're looking around. Well, down there, that's where we cut the ice. If you want some, see that bucket over there? There's some ice shavings in there. They're ready for the fish market in the morning. See, people come down here at all hours of the time to make sure that their catches stay fresh for the fish market. This is our main trade and business. Now, if you see down there, that's where Ross, he keeps his elemental. And that's what we use to refresh the water, make it nice and pure. So you ain't going to catch anything from our ice. And we get that elemental. He creates it in the ice. We slice it up into little chunks and we go all over the place. Ain't that right, Ross?
Yep.
Yarp. An elemental. What kind of elemental do you have?
Probably a nice one.
I bet he's nice, yes. What kind of elemental is it?
I use an ice elemental to do all that. Trade secret. I really can't tell you about it. You see his eyes furtively glance at a staff that's over next to a desk near the ledger where he was.
To use that staff over there to control the ice elemental.
You're a bit nosy, ain't you?
Well, no, just, put 2 and 2 together.
Actually, you're members of the Night Watch, right?
Yes,
I wonder if you can help me with something.
that's what we're here for.
It's fortuitous that you have come into my domain on this. You see, a couple of nights ago, a little before midnight, I heard some noises from out back. You know the grain house?
No.
You're familiar with that?
No.
No, can't say
Where-
we are.
Well, out the back, there's a warehouse with all the grain right behind this building. And I could have sworn that I saw a lot more rats than I've ever seen in my life. Now, you may think this is not unusual around a grain house, but this was more rats than you can imagine. There were so many rats, they were everywhere. It's like a carpet. I ain't never seen rats like that before. But I went and got my brother. When he came out, they were all gone. And I'm not sure now exactly what I saw, whether there were rats, because you would think the rats had eaten all the grain. But I could swear I've heard a lot of squeaking noises from out back since then, but I can't tell if they're really there or if it's just my imagination. Maybe y'all, as officials, could look into it for us, give us a bit more peace of mind.
Can Reggie just sense motive? See if he's being legit?
Yeah, of course.
16?
Yeah, you think
Yeah.
that he's being totally honest.
I mean, this seems more like a job for a cat, but I'm sure we can check it out while we're here.
I'm telling you, there were more rats than I have ever seen in my life. A cat would not have survived. A human would not have survived if those rats had turned.
Whose warehouse is it?
The warehouse is owned by a grain merchant.
He's your neighbor, right? Why don't you just go ask your neighbor? Have you seen him recently?
When I went to investigate, there was no sign of any rats anywhere. The grain was all still there. Everything was intact. I really am doubting that I saw this, but maybe as members of the watch, could go and have a look into it for me.
When was the last time you had a drink?
I don't drink, sir.
Even
My
with
pa-
all this nice ice around, keeping your beverages so cold.
I don't drink. My pappy had a problem with it, and I don't want to repeat the sins of old. Let's not go into that because I'll role play with myself.
Come on in, Flopsy. Let's go have a sticky beat.
I'm much obliged. Thank you very much. I mean, Ross has been beside himself since this happened. He's been looking around. He's been real skittish like. You know, the other day he couldn't even summon. Oh, wait. The other day he couldn't do his job properly.
Which way do we need to go then, sir?
Oh, it's just out the back. Here, if you go through that door right there, it'll lead you to an alley. And just behind that alley, that's where you see the grain warehouse.
So what you're saying is I can have a little bit of this ice on my neck, right?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Anything for the members of the watch.
And you chop it up with that big saw.
Yeah, we chop it up with that saw and then we click it up with some little hammers.
Okay, let's go check it out.
You walk out the back into the alley, and sure enough, you do see a grain storage unit. This is a similar warehouse to the McTaggart Brothers ice factory, and it's dark.
So one thing I'm going to do just before we go in, because this night's getting weirder and weirder. He's going to pop his collar again and cast Mage Armor. Mage Armor, cast. Tippy chops up.
Do you think perhaps, do you want to do the light or shall I? Or what,
Tippy, cast light. Light, cast. Pew. And then Tippy starts glowing.
after you, gentlemen.
You walk up to the doors. The doors are shut, but as you push on them, they swing open a little bit, just revealing the interior of the grain storage. You go inside and you take about 4 to 5 steps inside before you hear,
"We've been expecting you. Do not try any violence, please. You are surrounded, and if you don't believe me, look around you."
and at that, for the very first time, you start noticing that there are rats surrounding you, a carpet of rats just all around you. There's probably about 300 rats per person just blanketing this entire warehouse, surrounding you from the back, from the front, cutting off your exit, just standing, keeping you in spot.
Man, I wish we had that guy from the pier, you know, the one that ate rats. He'd love it here.
We have a problem which you can help us with and possibly prevent the bloodshed of many innocent beings. There is a man who has been collecting my little pets for use in a terrible game of sport. Many of my most beloved friends have died.
And at that, you hear all the rats going, and a little ruffle comes through the entire warehouse.
We want you to stop him. If you do not bring this man to justice, then I will be forced to take to the streets at dusk tomorrow with some of my pets to scour the waterfront until we find him. We implore you to help us so there's no more bloodshed.
Can we see who's talking?
There is a man across the warehouse. He is shrouded in rags. He has a big cloak on. Imagine a cloak that is just pieced together of rags that are all sewn together. He's kind of hunched over. You can't make out his face, but you can see him trembling and hunched over. He doesn't look like a young man at all. His posture belies his age.
I'm just sitting back because while Flopsy might not have a problem, Brett's got a bit of a problem with rats. And this week I should have had the pest inspection guys come out because we've had some rats. They haven't come. And all I can think about is what's behind that door.
Have you not opened that door?
Is that why there's chairs up against that door?
That's right.
Oh,
So there's a gap underneath the door there.
You shut up.
Did you know that-
shut your fucking face?
Did you know that rats can dislocate their backs to get into spaces like that? Anyway, that's
Luke,
Europe.
Well, I'm going to assure him, I'm like, sir, certainly we are more than happy to help as a member of the Night's Watch. And he's going to try to be signaling to the other guys to like try and give him some sort of information. Tell me about this guy. And he's just going to try and keep him
You want
distracted.
to know about this guy? Every day he comes into the Dark District, into Old Town. He's got magic pipes, and he's a killer! A killer!
ask the vermin what the vermin's name is.
Sir, what is your name?
My name is Kudzu.
Kudzu.
And that one?
I you
one?
making sport of my friends?
No, I'm just.
You wouldn't like them if they're angry.
No, I-
You see, we have respect for people. We don't just go around eating everything that we find. Look around you. Nothing is touched. We respect the world. We live underground, and we like to stay underground. Except this killer comes with his pipes, and he leads my friends away, and then he kills them. You must stop him. You must rescue my friends that he has captured, and you must stop him from killing, or I will be forced. We will be forced to take things into our own paws.
So did you say that he makes them fight?
We are not sure. We think that's what they're doing.
When you say pipes, are you talking about musical instruments pipes?
Yes.
He plays music.
Weird sounds that make us go crazy.
Can Flopsy do a knowledge check on these creatures to see what they are? Or the rat creatures, the one that can
Yep.
talk?
Knowledge nature.
Oh, hello. 27.
They're rats.
Why can rats talk?
Only the man's talking.
He's talking about himself in
He's
the third
talking-
person, eh?
There's a rat man. I thought that was a
No,
rat
the
talking
man
to us.
is talking, and there's rats everywhere. And he's talking to the rats like they're his friends. There's thousands and thousands of rats in the warehouse, and there's
You
a
dirty
man named Kudzu who is standing there in front of you.
The kudzu. Do you know the name of the other man with the pipes?
We do not know anything. It is your job, is it not, to find out, miscreants?
Yeah, but this is a big place. So we're trying to get as much information to make sure we get the right guy for you, because we don't want to bring the wrong guy back for you, do we?
You will have till dawn. Till dawn. I understand you have a job to do. I understand that it may take some time, but you must root this out before the night is through. But I am not unreasonable. No, we are not unreasonable. We are not unreasonable. One will come with you,
Nope.
and he will watch you, and he will report to me to make sure that you are doing what we ask. You have until dawn.
And with that, he whips his coat around him, and you see the rats all form moving out to the side of the warehouse district. He merges into a rat form himself and merges with the rest of the sea of rats. One lone rat stays behind, just looking at you, sitting there, its red eyes just staring straight at Flopsy.
Does it look mangy?
Miles is going to kneel down. He's like, come on, little fella, and hold out his hand.
He jumps onto your hand.
Perhaps leave the rat here. He can keep up as much as Bessie wants. We don't need to carry him.
Yes. Yeah, true. And put him on the ground.
Let's
So,
go. See
I-
Ian and Ross.
I have a place where we can start, obviously.
Oh.
Why don't we just start with the guy that's eating rats?
Let's tell Ian and Ross so Ross doesn't think he's going crazy by seeing all these rats. And then
Is that a wise idea?
Yeah, we should probably let him know. The guy seems like a good guy. Tell him we got it all under control.
Hey, mate, there's a freaking 2,000 rats living out in that shed.
But they're
Probably
not
shouldn't
doing
go out there.
anybody any harm. They're
They've
not
come
even
from
eating
the-
the grain. They're just...
they said they would come from underground because this pipe man has driven them out of their home. They just want to stay down there and eat from the sewers. That's fine.
I guess they may have information for us.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go see Ian and Ross and see if they've heard somebody piping around the place.
Okay. Yeah. Ian, Ross, how's it going? We've investigated that granary.
Oh, yeah, how'd it go?
He kind of looks around. There's a lot of rats in there.
I told you there were a lot of rats in there. I know. I didn't say that there were no rats in there. I told you that I saw were there a blanket of rats.
Yeah. Yes. It gets a little
Uh,
bit more weirder than that.
What do you
Tell them
mean?
about Kudzu and tell them about the piper.
Yes, there is a guy.
They don't need to know that, though, do
Okay.
they?
Wait, did someone say Kudzu? What's Kudzu?
Well, he's the rat man that lives with him and
A
controls
rat
him.
man?
Yes, apparently.
Wait, there's a rat man in the granary. Do we need? Do you need to report this? Is
Nothing,
he? Are there
nothing to
rats?
be alarmed about, good citizen. Lieutenant Colonel Miles has it all under control.
What do you mean? He's got it under control.
So,
So we are now on a mission to find out the piper that is allaying Kudzu's friends. Have you heard of a piper around here at some points? Perhaps setting up rat fights, always something to do with rats connected to rats.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean a piper? What do you mean rats?
A musician that plays like a flute or some sort of bagpipe.
Can we just circle back around? So there are rats in the granary, and
Not-
you
not
are
anymore, not anymore.
perturbed about that?
They've come from the pipes. They've gone back to the pipes. Don't worry about that. You're fixating on the wrong thing. We need a piper, a man who plays a pipe and has something to do with rats.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
Calm
What
it
is
down.
going on?
Put some ice on your head.
Ian, I think I'm more confused now than I was before. But one thing, may I ask this question to you? Were there rats in the granary?
Yes.
And there were lots of rats.
A lot of rats, yes.
And
They're no longer there.
there are no, but what about all the grain?
It's all there. It's fine. They didn't eat any
The
of it.
rats are not harmful and are not malicious. Yet.
They're quite honorable.
If we don't find the piper, they may retaliate.
What piper are you talking
The
about?
one that you're going to tell us where he is.
What piper?
Simple question. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a man who plays a pipe? A musician who plays a winded instrument?
They look at you like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking. Like, once again, I don't know. I saw rats out the back, and now you're talking about pipes. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't need
Are
to
you
understand.
accusing me of something?
No,
gentlemen, but look,
the
we've got
buffoons
this-
don't understand. Just be simple with them.
Yeah. We've got it under control. We're just letting you know that you didn't see there was no figment of
You're
your
not crazy.
imagination. You're not crazy. There were rats. We've got a lead, and we're going to follow it up now, and we're going to get this all done and dusted within 6 hours.
You're
If
not
we don't get it
crazy.
done in 6 hours, just don't be here.
Reggie, is it?
Yeah.
Thank you for being straight with us. These people probably need to learn a bit of manners about how to talk to people. I mean, we thought we were under arrest.
No, they're all good intentioned here, but they're just, they don't know how to relate to people like you and me.
You're a good man, Reggie.
I apologize,
I got you,
sir.
I got you.
I didn't mean to offend you. I just didn't realize how stupid you were.
Do you see what I mean?
I got to work with it. I've been having this all night.
And this is why TIFOs get a bad name.
Why?
Bloody handle heads.
At one point in time, people who were of tiefling descent were once persecuted against.
Well, it's a good thing that we don't live in those sort of times anymore.
I
But
agree.
good sir, you obviously don't know anything about this man with a pipe that we're talking about, so we will leave you to be for your good hard working this evening, and thank you very much for your time.
Is there a
Let's
tavern?
go, Flopsy. Let's go.
Tavern information somewhere we could go, but bye.
No wonder people used to treat TIFOs like that.
That was a little bit strange. Just something I picked up on there. They said people used to treat TIFOs as, second-class citizen.
Right, I was treated like that like last week.
Yes, that seems a bit odd, right?
Different times,
How
different
f-
places.
How far have we traveled?
Well, it's in miles. I don't know. Well, sorry, miles. Across an ocean, I believe.
But from your experience, did you know if the tieflings were treated any better over here?
Oh, well, the tieflings are not always treated as outcasts in every place they go.
Especially in the more cosmopolitan areas, I hear.
Right,
it's
right,
A bit more kind of accepting.
It's just that Jalmaray had a certain history. Interesting. Maybe we should ask on that some more with other people. But
Oh, it's just something I found interesting. This place is very different from any place
it
we've
is.
been
Look,
currently.
that cart has no horse, but it's got 2 pipes.
Yes, it's strange.
Maybe it does the rats. Should we find a tavern to get some more information about said piper?
Well, sure, if you want. As I said, I was thinking we'd go talk to the rat guy, see where he gets his rats from.
That's a long. That's
remember
a long,
he
that's a long
mentioned-
walk. That's a long walk, isn't it? Let's get some refreshment.
He did mention Old Town. Remember, he said he walks through Old Town every day with his pipes.
Old Town, it is them.
So let's keep going on this journey then. Well, the patrol, and we'll ask people along the way.
Well,
Oh, you think that sounds like a great idea?
right. Let's go to the Crow's Nest and find a tavern, maybe the Red Sail Tavern. Ask some questions.
Sounds like a plan.
Have a drink.
As you head back towards the coastal road, you see something up ahead through the fog, laying across the lane, blocking the path.
Oh, what the fuck is this now?
A large, grotesque stone statue lays across the road. It's about 6 feet in length, 4 feet across. It appears to be the likeness of some evil water-dwelling creature, possibly a demon, something like that. The ground beneath it's wet. The statue itself is also very damp.
What is the point? Bet this is some sort of distraction to lead us into an ambush again. The way this night's going.
What kind
You-
of
you
creature
reckon-
is that statue representing?
It's some kind of demon. I'm not really sure.
Can
But
Reggie take a perception check and have a little look around
Yeah.
see what's going on? Because I think
Miles is
he would
gonna
be very
s-
suspicious, as Miles has pointed out yet again. As on our beat as we're walking around, we're going to get jumped by some.
Miles is going to throw Tippy up in the air and go scout as well.
Tippy's going to fall straight to the ground because he's made of metal.
Tippy's not aerodynamic at all.
So perception check for Reggie is a 27.
So you're walking up to the statue. You're having.
Oh, I'm not walking right up to it. I'm cautiously walking towards it while scouting around, looking either side. Just I'm not really paying too much attention to the statue, but more like what's around.
Oh, I
to see if
what
somebody's
you're saying.
done that as a distraction and then jump out on us.
There are two walls, but they're far enough away from the actual lane itself
Okay.
that they're up at escarpments and there's
Yep. So
garden
checking
beds
for, like,
and those kinds of
crossbow
things. But
positions
there's no real places where a human or a person could
Okay.
hide.
Okay.
The perfect place for a choker.
Yeah. Because once
I-
bitten, once choked, you go blue. Yeah, Europe.
So Tippy's into the air,
Yeah.
scouting around. Just make a perception roll for
Yeah,
Tippy.
I rolled a natty 1, which takes it to a 6.
With a 6, Tippy
Flies
loses.
into a wall.
he takes off a little too high and he loses you in the fog for a little while. It's only your innate sense of each other that he comes back and sits on and
It'd be
says to
funny
you,
because I cast slide on him, so his eyes like glowing. Like a little-
Like a lorikeet straight into
Yeah.
a window.
like in Watchmen, the owl.
Yeah.
You know, the ship for the owl. So Tippy comes back down and he lands on your shoulder. He says, "Nothing to report."
Thanks, Tippy.
Reggie, will you investigate up there? I'm just going to detect magic while you have a look. Is
Sure
that-
thing, Flopsy.
You detect no magic whatsoever. This is just a bit of a rock statue that's across the laneway.
Just a rock statue, nothing out of the ordinary. Don't be afraid. As
Do you want me
Flopsy
to?
doesn't
as,
move.
As Reggie gets there, he kind of like pushes it with his foot a bit, see what's going on.
Yeah, it's a stone statue.
We should move it out of the way in case one of those cart things without horses comes. Or it could be one of those carts with horses
Yeah,
because we
you
have
just-
them too.
You're having a look at it. Just make a
Yeah.
perception check.
Flopsy hasn't moved.
29 on Reggie's perception.
So Reggie walks up. You've kicked it. As you kick it, you're kind of looking at it. You swear you saw its eye blink.
Flopsy, you sure this thing isn't magical?
I am absolutely sure. Why? How very dare you question my judgment?
Yeah, but I'm standing right next to it, Flopsy, and it just blinked. I'm pretty sure it just blinked.
Well, perhaps it's not magical, but it's a creature of some
But
kind.
it's
that-
stone. It's a statue. How can it not?
I would step away while you ask the questions.
I'll kick it again and step away.
You kick it. You step back from it, and the stone hurts your foot because it's made of stone, and it just
My feet are made of stone, right?
You kick it, nothing happens. You kick a statue and it just stays there. It doesn't move. It's a heavy stone statue.
Remember how Decath was ice? Perhaps this is a stone version of that. Flopsy will move up next to Reg and we'll do a heal check, nature check, knowledge check, see what he can figure out about it.
Are you trying to are you trying to identify the creature that the statue represents?
No, if it's blinking, is there a creature that does that? Would this be a creature rather than a statue? If it blinks, I trust Reggie.
Yeah, so you probably want to look at the actual statue to try and identify what creature that is representing.
Yeah.
Yep, do a knowledge nature.
That's 21.
Flopsy, you walk up and you see that this stone thing is resembling a crouching kind of humanoid with scales all over its bodies. You see that it's got gills and fins that kind of stick out where there should be ears. Its claws are webbed and it's in a frozen statue. The statue looks great. It's a very nice representation of this. But you also notice it's wet. Why is it wet?
I don't know. Why is it wet?
Are there any tracks to it? Can we see any water marks? If there's a puddle around it, is it like
There is definitely a puddle around it. You can see the
but
dirt
you can't see
underneath
like
of it.
it would be trailed here from other water? Is there a water trail or
Does it
something?
look like it's fallen from one of
I
the
need it.
buildings, adjacent buildings?
There's nothing around. So
Where it
that-
would seem to be have been mounted originally.
yeah,
Okay.
it looks like something's put
Just
it here.
appeared. Okay.
Yeah, it's been put here. Just make a survival check to check for tracks.
10.
10. You don't see any tracks.
It's quite obvious this was covered in ice and left here to melt.
Can Reg have a look for tracks?
Yep.
10.
On a 10, you don't see any tracks.
Right, so I'll bend down and have a look. Reginald, can you show me what you did to this thing? Kick it again.
So I just look. This is what I did. I went up to it. I was obviously looking around, making sure there wasn't anything that nobody's going to shoot us or anything crazy because the amount of stuff that we've had going on tonight is just nuts. And I gave a little tappity tap with my foot like this, and it blinked.
Just make a perception check.
28.
Nothing. You notice nothing. It's just a statue, just sitting there, moist statue.
Moist.
Where is there any water nearby? This statue could have been wet.
The coast road. This is an alley just off the coast
just
road.
that ocean there.
Nice one, country boy. Let's get this off the road, shall we?
I can see the sea.
How about we lift this off the road then?
All right.
Would I say we, gentlemen?
Look, you take the head end. I'm getting a bit freaked out by these eyes.
All right, just make a strength check for me. Let's see how you can lift it.
I stare at his eye, at the statue's eyes the whole time as I try and pick it up.
Reg gets a 14.
Okay.
Miles also gets a 14.
check it out.
Oh, you lift it up evenly, except Reg is a bit
Well,
lower.
it's above my head.
It's the 60-40 thing. Like, it makes things easier for you to lift. The odd part of that is Miles is just staring it intently at the eye in the eyes. You move it off to the side of the road.
Let's stand it up so it's all pretty and,
Right, well, whatever, Miles. I just don't want to look at it anymore.
someone has spent a lot of time carving the statue. I mean, look at it. You thought it was realistic.
Well, I'm sure it blinked, but there we go. That's how real I thought it was. But, whatever. Let's
You
get out of
stand
here.
it up. It's a nice little road marker that stays by the side, and you continue down the coast road.
That's a good statue. Let's go.
You stand it up next to it. It's a nice little marker. Just make a perception check for me as well, Miles.
That's 11.
Excellent. It seems to be nicely put in place. It's not going to fall over. You've kind of mounted it really.
I lick you in the eyes and then I mount you.
Oh, Miles, I knew you liked the statue, but come on, mate. I mean,
You plant it in place really nicely. It seems to be very solid in the ground. It's not going to fall over and endanger anyone. And off you go down the coast road.
Come, gentlemen, to the crow's nest, perhaps the Red Sail Tavern for a beverage.
yeah, I'm parched. Let's do it.
Keep an ear out for pipers.
Miles, you turn around as you hear the sound.
Tag, little fishy. Tag, fishies.
And a claw strikes you straight in the back, doing 3 points of subdual damage, non-lethal damage, grabs you, just bangs you and says,
It's Tag, little fish.
and you see this statue come to life, its claws out with webbed fingers in between, just looking straight in your eyes. And we'll see you next time.
Ah,
No armor class check. Fucking shit.
no, apparently not.
He did roll a natural 20.
I
Legit
rolled a natural
20.
20 last time as
Let's
well.
get rid of them now. So there's a packet there of dice and minis and stuff that came from miniature. What's it called? What's
Miniature Mart, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, cool,
Miniature
man.
Mart.
They're cool.
So these ones you've like ordered these individually,
Individually,
rares, uncommons, and
pre-painted,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
So they
good.
opened up the package for you, and
They just sent them like that.
Nice.
And they were really good. They had a little delay. They sent me an email. They popped in something special. I haven't seen them yet, so I don't know what they've done.
great. This basilisk is fantastic.